A Jasper restaurant has reopened after being closed due to fire damage. We'll have more on that. Plus, Carrie Schneider returns this week with our friends from the DuBois County Humane Society, and Indiana State Police Canine Officer Brian LaRoche is our guest this evening on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin tonight with the reopening of a Jasper restaurant that had been closed for the better part of 3 weeks after it was damaged by fire. The Fazoli's, located along 3rd Avenue in Jasper, reopened yesterday after being closed following a September 23rd fire that damaged the building. A company spokesperson says the restaurant is back on its regular operating hours. Jasper firefighters were originally called to the restaurant just after 8:05 a.m. on September 23rd after employees smelled smoke and found a fire inside of the exterior wall near the building's southeast entrance. Jasper Fire Chief Kenny Hoeksong says a cigarette caught the exterior of the building on fire, and the fire traveled through the interior cavities of the wall. The southeast entrance of the building is not usable right now due to exposed electrical wiring, but Hoeksong confirmed with the State Fire Marshal's office that the restaurant could be reopened and operate with just one of its 2 entrances, so long as the store's occupancy was kept to 49 or fewer people. A Huntingburg-based company announced the promotion of one of its own. OFS Brands has announced the promotion of Ryan Menke to Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing. In his new role, Menke will be responsible for managing all of the company's sales and marketing functions. He previously served as the Senior Vice President of Supply Chain for the company. OFS Brands Chief Financial Officer and Senior Vice President Jim Hebner says Menke has shown leadership and results across just about every aspect of the company over the last 10 years. He says the company's sales and marketing teams will flourish under Menke's leadership. Menke started at OFS Brands back in 2002 as the Vice President of Transportation. In that position, he oversaw Styline Logistics, the company's specialized furniture transportation company. A company news release stated that Styline Logistics grew from one terminal in the state of Indiana to one of the largest specialized furniture carriers in America. Menke oversaw the company's raw materials operations from 2004 to 2006, in addition to supply chain operations. He relocated to North Carolina in 2006 in order to manage the company's acquisition and integration of Carolina Business Furniture. He has served as the Senior Vice President of Supply Chain since 2008, in addition to duties overseeing Styline Logistics' and OFS Brands' seating division. Menke earned his degree from the University of Evansville in Business Administration. He worked in new business development for a St. Louis furniture dealer prior to coming to OFS Brands. Expansion is now being considered at the Huntingburg Airport in order to attract more tenants. Last night, the DuBois County Airport Authority began discussing the idea of adding more hangar space at the airport. DCAA President Michael Cummings says the current hangars are filled to capacity, thus making it impossible for the airport to take on more tenants. Cummings says it is very early on in that process, though he says the airport plans to gauge pilot support before making any decisions.
We're just very preliminarily looking at, what the cost of constructing a new hangar might be, and if we can generate any interest in the pilot community out here to, pre-sell or pre-lease those units in a potential hangar. That might be able to offset our upfront costs, and just looking at different ways to finance it and how a project like that might shape up.
Cummings says adding the space would be very beneficial to the airport since fuel sales is a big part of the airport's business.
More tenants means more activity, more fuel sales, just an increased level of activity out here. And really that's what we want to see, particularly since we're, selling fuel now and also leasing the hangars, and that's a revenue stream for us. So if the numbers work out, it could generate some revenue for the airport and help us be more self-sustaining than we are now.
In other business last night, the board also opened discussions on ideas for offsetting costs on the plane that the airport owns. The lead idea at this point is to create a flying club. The idea, borrowed from other airports, would involve people paying a membership fee to join the club. Once in the club, a member would have preferred access and discounted rental rates for the plane. Cummings says it would be a win-win situation for the airport as it tries to control the costs of the plane.
So that's kind of where we're coming from, and it's really a no-lose situation for us. If people want to join the club, they would it'd be up to them, and if we don't get anyone to join, well, we don't really have anything upfront into it. So it's an opportunity for people to access the airplane a little bit cheaper for the pilots.
Also last night, the board formally approved its 2014 salary ordinance. Under the new ordinance, the pay range for airport employees will be set between $7.25 and $18 per hour. Additionally, airport manager Travis McQueen reported on the progress of the tier discount system for fuel that the airport board previously proposed for its customers. McQueen reported that he was advised by the Valparaiso Airport Authority not to sell fuel below the price plus 50-cent cost share that the board has talked about at previous meetings. The board also discussed the possibility of adding a clear history provision to the discounts, meaning that a customer would have to have a clear history of consuming the number of gallons of fuel in a certain tier in order to qualify for the discounts in that tier. Otherwise, they would have to be approved for a tier and would be invoiced at whatever tier that their fuel consumption level wound up at if they didn't reach the tier of consumption that they agreed to. In final notes, with the Federal Aviation Administration restricted courtesy of the ongoing government shutdown, members of the airport board will have to take a trip to Chicago on Wednesday, October 30th to meet with officials concerning the ongoing environmental assessment for runway 9 at the Huntingburg Airport. The board will also be holding an executive session on October 29th at noon to address appraisals coming in for the tree work to be done near that runway. Finally this evening, a local high school senior has been named to the Army All-American Marching Band for 2014. Bradley Galehausen, a senior at Jasper High School, has been selected as a member of the Army All-American Marching Band for 2014. The selection was announced this morning in a convocation held at Jasper High School. Galehausen becomes one of only 125 students nationwide to be chosen to train and perform as a member of the band, and he is one of only 5 students from Indiana to be selected to the band. Members chosen for the band do not have to be in the military. They are taught by top collegiate, high school, and drum and bugle corps instructors from across America. They are also given an all-expenses-paid trip to Bowl Week in San Antonio in January of their senior year of high school. Galehausen and other members of the band are set to perform at the U.S. Army All-American Bowl High School All-Star Game on January the 5th. Coming up after the break, Carrie is back with our friends at the Dubois County Humane Society, plus your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gooksell, and Inform featuring Indiana State Police K-9 Officer Brian LaRoche. That's all up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.